Hello, my darlings. Had it muted in different places. Hello, my darlings. How is everyone? I hope everybody's good. I hope everybody is having a spiffing evening. Merry Christmas again, a belated one perhaps, but Merry Christmas nevertheless to those of you who are in for the season, the reason for the season. Oh, darn it. Sorry, guys. I'm still setting up a few things here I forgot to do. So, I hope everybody's well. I hope you're all having a wonderful time and you're looking forward to the New Year's Eve party tomorrow, where we shall indulge in a ungodly amount of alcohol. And to my Muslim brothers, wassalamu alaikum. I'm glad you're here. just so I don't forget the Muslim brothers, which we will also be indulging in a godly amount of alcohol, regardless of religious proclivities, as we say. So, how is everyone? I hope you're all good. I hope you're all having a wonderful evening and you've had a merry, merry festive season. What are we here for, kids? Well, this has been a turbulent few days. I just thought I'd do this now because if I don't do it now, then it will run its new cycle and it will be pointless to do it any other time after this. Although my other channel, I talk about this individual quite a lot anyway, but I might as well do one on here. Big up Ultra, big up Yeti. What's this? Do these people not realize that they're just making him more popular? Yes, they are. I'm working through the New Year's. So no. Oh no. Oh, Ultra is working. I'm sorry, mate. I'll have a drink remembering you. Here's one to my homie. No, I'm not working through the New Year's Eve, certainly not tomorrow night, and I'll be recovering probably Sunday. But I have to do some work this evening, which may take a few hours. I hope it doesn't take too long because I've decided to do this show now, and I have a fair bit of work to do. Good man, Ultra. Anyway, boys and girls, we are here to discuss a couple of things. Actually, it's not just this initial part of this show is going to be in regards to Andrew Tate, but there is actually another clip that I would like to also play. Actually, oh my god, I just remembered yet another one that I wanted to talk about. Now, I've given myself about an hour, so after 8 o'clock I'm done. I got to get out because I got a shitload of work to do in other areas, so I have to get off at about 8ish. So I'm not gonna delay or delay this that much. Although I'm kind of buying time right now just to get a few people in, because I know that it takes a hot minute for everyone to finally figure out that this channel is running a show. I know I don't do anything on schedule anymore. On other news, I just want to quickly point out for those of you who are interested or have been interested, because I know some of you guys some of my audience share an audience with Speakers Corner Online. Speakers Corner Online's YouTube channel has been on hiatus for a little while. There are some things coming. I can't discuss it at the moment, but once the advertising for it goes out, then we will start again, potentially our shows on next year. There may be some changes to the show's formats or style. I don't know. But if anybody's interested in the Speakers Corner Online show, which me and Manny do on a Wednesday, then yeah, that's on hold until New Year, and then we'll see how things unfold in the new year. We have to see the fate of that channel. At the moment, we're not 100% sure if it's. I mean, the whole thing was meant to be just an advertising platform for Speakers Corner Online. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out that way. It didn't make. We weren't really getting the kind of audience numbers, so we just skipped it. Anyway, It seems that I am in fact losing audience members as we speak, rather than gaining them. the more I, the more I delay the conversation. So what are we here for, kids? We are here to discuss the one and only Andrew Tate. Some people know him as Top G, others know him as Cobra Tate, depending on which sphere of society you have come in touch or come in contact with Andrew. You will know him as a guy who drives fast cars and does and he's rich and has lavish parties, etc., etc. Those are the sort of things you would most likely recognize Andrew Tate from. Obviously, he's been on multitudes of podcasts ever since he himself was banned from pretty much most, should we say now, most major, in fact, all major social media platforms. Your Facebooks and your Twitters and your YouTubes. I think it's a lifetime ban on YouTube unless Elon Musk decides to buy YouTube. Instagram, all of the major ones. But Elon Musk bought Twitter, so ever since he bought Twitter, Andrew Tate has been unbanned. And I don't know whether this was a good thing or a bad thing now, because of the events that have unfolded in the last 48 hours, 2-3 days, I think they are. Let me just double check when the first tweet went out and how it all. December 27th. Yeah, literally 3 days. 3 days ago. In the last 3 days, events have spiraled into out of control, or spiraled to conspire against Andrew Tate, and it all began with this tweet, this fateful tweet. Andrew Tate tweeted to Greta Thunberg, "Hello Greta Thunberg," or "Hello at Greta Thunberg. I have 33 cars. My Bugatti has a W16 8.0 liter quad turbo. My two Ferrari 812 competizioni," whatever the fuck that is. It's 812 competizioni is I think the Ferrari's make and model. Have 6.5 liter V12s. This is just the start. Please provide your email address so I can send a complete list of my car collection and their respective emissions, enormous emissions. This was, I guess, I don't know, he was thinking he was funny. This was like he was, what do they call it? Flexing, I guess that's the term these days. Flexing. He wanted to flex his muscle cars or his cars in the face of an environmentalist. So anyway, he got a clap back, which I can't deny. This was a sweet response. I mean, this was a sweet fucking response. And either Greta did this or someone else, but whoever did it was a fucking genius. Yes, please do enlighten me. Email me at smalldickenergy@getalife.com. I can't deny it. That's a sweet comeback. That is a sweet fucking comeback. I mean, you really, and that was like, it didn't take very long. That was just almost an immediate comeback. Now, Andrew then went on to I think, do an initial comeback of "How dare you?" Unfortunately, I don't actually have that, I think, response here. I can't find it now. I don't know. It was somewhere in these threads of "How dare you?" Let me see. Oh shit! Hold on. Can't do that. Let me see if I can. No, I don't think. Yeah, these are. There's a lot now. There's a lot. But Andrew's reply initially was "How dare you," quoting her famous, speech at the UN. How dare you? You have taken away my childhood. You've stolen my childhood from her. But then, literally about a day later, this is the December 28th, Andrew Tate came up with this comeback, which was a long 2-minute diatribe about how It says the world. Here we go. Thank you for confirming via your email address that you have a small penis. At Greta Thunberg, the world was curious, and I agree. You should get a life. Now, yeah, it took you a day to come back with this milk toast shit. I mean, I think Andrew Tate needs a writer rather than Greta Thunberg. It took you a day to come back with this, and then he went on to produce this video in which he goes on about, you know, how Greta Thunberg has a small penis email. Why would you have an email that indicates you have a small penis? Blah blah. It's almost like I'm glue, you're rubber. I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you throw at me sticks onto you. I mean, come on. Come on, you're a 37-year-old man debating, having Twitter wars with a 19-year-old, and that's your comeback. Anyway, that's not the point. The story goes, as I have understood, as I understand it, that in this video, as you can see, and I'm not going to play the sound of this because Andrew Tate is his company is notorious for copyright striking people. So he goes on, and he asks for the pizza to come. Hold on, let me see if I can get this.
Why would that be your own email address, Greta?
Yeah.
I don't want to assume her is what it is. I'm not actually mad at Greta.
Hold on.
Please bring me pizza and make sure that these boxes are not recycled.
Okay, so that's what he's saying. These boxes are not recycled, but unironically or ironically, I don't know how, but this was Andrew Tate's downfall because he tried to go lock horns with a 19-year-old on Twitter and found himself wanting. He exposed this particular pizza company, which is a Romanian pizza chain, apparently, thus indicating to the authorities that he is in Romania, he is in the country, because of the fact that he flies private jets all over the place. It's very hard for authorities to actually pinpoint where you are. Whilst for regular schmoes like us, which have to travel on a fucking coach, we have to have our passports stamped and our rectums, what do you call it, probed, and our fingerprints and our eye retinas scanned and all of that shit. Whilst most rich people seem to come and go without barely any passport checks. So he seems to come in and out the country with his private jets, and the authorities don't even know he's in the country. So anyway, through this moment, they found out that he was in the country and that they had a warrant of arrest out on him, which again is surprising because you would think that they would have sent him a letter or something saying that we have an arrest warrant out on you for human trafficking, if that was truly the charge. So why would they need to raid him? I'm sure he would have turned himself in. But anyway, through this, they found that he was home, and then they raided his house. Sorry, where's it? No, not that. That's a different one. What the hell? I thought I had it. I had the video ready to go. Oh, here we are. Let me just initially play this. This was in Romanian TV, where Andrew Tate was arrested by people who look like they're out for, to take down Pablo Escobar. I mean, what is this? Why is there so many? This is the SWAT team they sent around. I mean, holy shit balls. I thought it was a little bit excessive myself, but they did send the SWATers. Let me, I think this was the video that I wanted to play. Yeah. As you can see, they literally send. Now, this is strange to me. This is a massive SWAT team with an actual camera team following them. If you notice, the camera team actually has the lights. These are camera lighting. This if you see the lighting here is exceedingly good. If you look at the dark images, you will see. Look at the lighting. Look at the lighting reflection off the side here. These are major camera. These are not body cams. These are camera lights that is held by a cameraman, and just like reporter kind of gear. I don't think this doesn't strike me. Look at this. This is some sort of female reporter or something. So like, it seems that this, I don't know if this was for show or what, but this is quite excessive. And here it is. They've arrested them. Now these appear to be guns in the Tate household, and they do seem to be bullets. Now, obviously, this sword here is a show sword. It's not even sharpened. It's a blunt sword. Maybe the machete is. I don't know. But there was some guns and stuff. But this was like how they went in. I mean, you would think that this is some kind of world renowned criminal with there's some money and gold by the looks of it, I guess they found. I mean, they confiscated everything. These are the cars. Earlier this week, Tate got into a war of words with 19-year-old climate activist Greta Thunberg. Yeah, but anyway, so that's what that happened. But don't worry, the story does not end as badly as some people predict. Andrew was released, and he actually released a tweet saying the Matrix sent their agents. And funnily enough, Elon Musk sent out this tweet, which I presume was for Andrew Tate, even though he didn't actually put Andrew Tate in there. He didn't tag Andrew, but he released this. What if I told you the only way to escape the Matrix is to unlearn everything that you have been taught and rebuild your entire belief system based on critical thought and analysis? Now, I don't know whether Elon Musk, I mean, it looks like pretty much it was a dog whistle to Andrew Tate, but Andrew Tate immediately obviously retweeted that. So he's been released, and the Tate boys apparently are this was the other one, which no, that's not it. Oh, here it is. The Tate boys are back at it with their drinking and their partying. Now, admittedly, I don't know whether this is before he became a Muslim or after. This may be an old footage. I don't know. You're a math nerd. What's the ratio? I don't know. I don't know whether this is a real, because I got this from some account on Rumble called Tate Podcast. So I'm not entirely sure if this is the actual Andrew Tate's release party or not, because they're drinking alcohol, and Andrew Tate is supposed to be a Muslim now, a convert to Islam. So I'm not sure how this is planning out. I don't know. I don't know whether this is an actual party, but he is released. He's at home, and they're obviously going to go to trial and see what it is. Now, this is something actually that was quite interesting. What Aberrant Preach. Now, I follow a guy called Aberrant Preach. Police always raid with MSM attached. Do they? The police always raid with oh, I see. Welshman's taking the piss. Big up all. Hey, yes, big up everyone in the chat, by the way. I see a lot of people now. I'm sorry I haven't addressed anyone, but yeah, big up everyone. Peter, Bye EU, Base Welshman, of course, my brother from another mother, and Wanksy, my literal namesake in a piss take form. And he's holding on to that Wanksy name. But anyway, big up everyone. So anyway, as I was saying, the Aberrant Preach, who's another very large YouTubers that I do follow and watch their videos. They're great. They're really funny guys. They were saying that if these charges are not true, if they're all false allegations, and this whole thing is going to fall flat on the face of the authorities, then no one's ever going to believe these people ever again. That is the catch here. That the people who run the Matrix, shall we say, are never gonna live this down. People are never gonna trust authority again. I mean, this will put a huge. I mean, in a weird way, for the sake of the authorities, they better have enough evidence to charge these guys and actually put them away, because if they don't, they are in the shit when it comes to public trust. But again, who cares about public trust? I mean, does it really matter about the public trust? Because let's be honest, even if we don't trust them, do we have the ability to enforce our will upon them? They will still enforce the will upon us either way. Do they give a shit whether we trust them or not? It's just more convenient for them to for us to go willingly into the what's it called? It's convenient for them for us to go willingly into our little cubbies, into our little foxholes that they'll build for us, and eat the bugs willingly, rather than force the bugs down our throat and shove us into camps. That's the only difference for these fuckers. I'll be honest, that's all I see. Is I think they just think, okay, it's more convenient if the plebs and the sheeps march quietly to their doom, rather than us having to grab them by the scruff of the neck and drag them into it. That's the only real difference. Does any of us really has the COVID period shown you that the public have any real power to do anything, if that is against to disobey, if you like, the powers that be? I honestly still am not clear that we do. I honestly don't think that we do, actually, and to be perfectly honest. I think that we just simply are not unified enough. There are still plenty of moron liberals out there that will willingly do the bidding of our overlords without question, and just carry on. So if we don't have the power and possibly the will to actually do anything about any of this, then in all honesty, we're not really, it doesn't really matter whether we what's it called, whether we know we're in the matrix or not. That's the critical thing for me, is that it doesn't actually matter if you're aware you're in the matrix if you have no ability to do anything about it. If you can't enforce your will, if your vote doesn't count for shit, if everything you do is pointless, because you're just going to obey the powers that be at the end of the day, because you can't really do anything about it. Okay, a few people didn't get vaccinated. God, that was a major blow to the matrix. It's I don't know. I see it being futile when you can't actually invoke your will. If you can't invoke your will, then it's all kind of futile. I don't know. I'm not entirely convinced that being aware of the matrix can actually get you to escape the matrix. It's like taking the red pill, but not actually having the Nebuchadnezzar to come and rescue you when they dump you into that huge fucking giant, I don't know, ocean or pool or whatever it is that they dropped him in. I mean, imagine if the Nebuchadnezzar never came to pick up Neo once they dropped him out into that ocean. He would just drown and die, right? So being aware of being red-pilled about the Matrix doesn't mean you'll survive. Doesn't mean you'll thrive from it. You need to be rescued by somebody because the Matrix will just dump you like waste, and that'll be it. I don't know. Anyway, I want to just do this because I kind of tweeted this at Andrew. I said, you flew too close to the sun. Yes, when you fly too close to the sun, you'll find that you'll get burnt. Your wings will melt and you'll come crashing to the ground. And I think maybe that was Andrew's moment just now. Damn, something's going on with my phone. I don't know if someone's trying to ping me. What the hell's going on? My phone always messes with my sound. Okay, so yeah, there's that. Now for the guys in the chat, and especially I think I saw this first with Base Welshman. You posted this the first time I remember, but this was a case of a young woman, a Christian woman, who literally was praying outside of an abortion clinic in England. I believe it might have been Peterborough, and the police were called.
What are you here for today?
No.
Physically, I'm just standing here.
Okay. Why here of all places? I know you don't live nearby.
But this is an abortion centre.
Okay, that's why you're stood. Is you standing to be part of the protest?
No, I'm not protesting.
Are you praying?
I might be praying in my head out loud.
So I'll ask you once more, will you voluntarily come with us now to the police station for me to ask you some questions about today and other days where there are allegations that you've broken public spaces protection?
If I've got a choice, then no.
Okay, well then you're under arrest on suspicion of failing to comply with the Public Spaces Protection Order, which is under the Antisocial Behaviour Crimes Policing Act 2014. Now, of course, you again, you don't have to say anything. It may harm your defence if you didn't.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys heard that, it was loud enough or not, but this woman got arrested because she was outside an abortion clinic praying in her head. That's basically it. That's it. Hey, big up Drastic Measures Islam. Hope you're well, and I love your videos. Guys, everyone subscribe to Drastic Measures Islam. His videos are brilliant, and he's really doing a great job. Deserves far more subscribers than he has. So yeah, so that's what happened. That's what happened. This woman was praying in her head, and she got arrested because in Britain you can't pray in your head anymore if you're outside an abortion clinic. Apparently, that's a thing. That's a thing. And believe it or not, I now wish to. Well, I mean, this was.
Sometimes I'd stand or walk near an abortion facility and pray about this issue.
Okay, this is the video
I'm
she
still trying to get my
made.
mind around the fact that I've been arrested for silent thoughts going on in the privacy of my own head. My faith is a central part of who I am, so sometimes I'd stand or walk near an abortion facility and pray about this issue. Police asked me what I was doing one afternoon near the abortion centre. I was clearly...
Now, one thing I want to say, never talk to the police. Never talk to the police. This comes from, I think it was an ex-police officer, in fact, who was giving advice on citizens and how to interact with the police. Never talk to the police. The police are not your friends, and they're not there to have, to have some kind of... A lot of them will engage in what would appear to be casual conversation, especially if an event has taken place, an incident has taken place. They will appear to have a conversation with you in a casual, off-the-record type of a manner, whilst nothing, when it comes to discussing things with the police, is off the record. When a police officer is in uniform, everything is on the record, and you do not talk to the police on any level. If they ask you, how are you today? You say no comment. If they say, the weather looks kind of chilly this morning, no comment. Do not talk to the police. They will use everything you say to arrest you or find you somehow guilty. A police officer can literally, they said, they can find a ham sandwich guilty of something if they really want to. That's how it is, and especially in police nation or police state Britain. Police state Britain, literally just standing in the street can be construed as a crime. That's and I will show you. I'll post the link for this video so you guys can go and look at this woman and Isabel's story and all that further. I'm not gonna labor this video, but this is the video I want you guys to watch. And unfortunately, it's a 13-minute video, but I'm gonna let it run because I think it's well worth viewing all of this.
Faith in me as a barrister helping you to understand law on this channel. And that is that thought crime now exists in the UK.
Sorry. Oh my God, I didn't realize I didn't have the web view on. Okay. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna play this one again. But this is the guy who I want you. This black belt barrister seems to, know his business. So yeah, check out what he is saying. It's amazing. Let me see if it's maximum volume.
This one you probably wouldn't believe unless you had sufficient faith in me as a barrister helping you to understand law on this channel. And that is that thought crime now exists in the UK. Let me say that again. Thought crime exists in the UK. That is, what you think may be a criminal offence, depending on the circumstances. Now, I'm not talking about an act of preparation for a crime, because an attempted offence or an inchoate offence, which is an offence that is not yet complete. For example, you're planning a burglary, or you're planning a robbery, or you're planning something else. You might have various thoughts about that. You might have researched something and not yet actually done anything. Now, with those kind of offences, they have to be more than merely preparatory. So instead of just preparing to do something, you have to have taken some steps towards that offence.
I just want to say I hope he doesn't copyright me, but I'm just doing this for the sake of that.
So let's say you've researched something but done nothing more. That's not necessarily going to land you in any kind of trouble. Unless, of course, it's to do with some kind of terrorism offences and things like that. But, by the by, if you have done something else which is more than merely preparatory, you might be charged with and maybe even convicted of an attempted or inchoate offence. That is, as I say, an offence which hasn't yet happened, but you've been more than preparing to do so. This is a little bit different.
I just want to say, yeah, if you guys want to go and check out Black Belt Barrister, then by all means do so. I mean, the guy is massive. He's got 256,000 subs. So I just want to give credit.
Now, to explain this, I need to explain, as I've explained in previous videos, that local authorities have power to create laws of their own. They can create bylaws, and they can now create what's known as a public space protection order, which is a little bit like an injunction within a certain area to prevent certain activities from happening. Now, I've talked in other videos about how these shouldn't be used, they can't be used, they can be challenged, and that they shouldn't be used where they conflict with other existing laws. But in certain cases, when they implement one of these public space protection orders, if it doesn't go challenged, then you can't challenge the validity if you're outside of the initial 6-week period. However, if you are convicted under one of these, it is possible to challenge that conviction on the basis that it was unlawful in the first place, possibly by a judicial review or having your case re-examined by way of case stated. But what we have here is a public spaces protection order put in place by Birmingham City Council that restricts and makes criminal something that you might merely only think in your mind. Allow me to explain. Now, there's a medical facility known as the Robert Clinic on Station Road in Birmingham, which carries out abortions. Now, some people agree with those and some people disagree with those. This video is not to debate whether those are correct or not, and I'm not expressing any view on whether those are correct or not. My angle is simply on the legal application of what this order has put into place vis-a-vis restrictions around that clinic. I will link this document in the description below, and on page 2 it has a list of activities which are prohibited by this order, and failure to comply with this order will amount to a criminal offence. In fact, one lady has been charged and due to appear in court for praying outside this clinic. So looking at these activities that are restricted under this order, number 1, protesting, namely engaging in any act of approval or disapproval, or attempted act of approval or disapproval, with respect to issues related to abortion services. By any means. This includes, but is not limited to, graphic, verbal, or written means, prayer or counselling. Now,
Did you guys see that? See that? The activities prohibited by the order are the protesting, namely engaging in any act of approval or disapproval or attempt act of approval or disapproval. You can't protest. This is an anti-protest bill. Law. What am I talking about? Bill. It's a law. You can't protest under this law anymore. These are inalienable rights, what they call in America. This is why Britain needs a constitution. This is why Britain needs a constitution, for these BS laws that have been passed without any of us even being aware of it. Only in situations like this, when this woman was arrested for literal thought crime, that now you've got people like Black Belt exposing you. This is a police state. This is a police state. If anyone tells you Britain is a free country, they're fucking lying to you. Straight up lying to you. This is not a free nation.
graphic, verbal, or written means prayer or counselling. Now, if we break that down somewhat, this is a medical facility, so it's quite right that the local authority would look to restrict people interfering with people going to that medical facility, potentially because they strongly disagree or whatever. And so this first part of this order restricts graphic, verbal or written means of approval or disapproval. On the one hand, you could say that's sort of fair enough because it could amount to harassment of the people going to that clinic. On the other hand, some people will believe that that's interfering with their right to protest. However, there isn't any such right as such to protest. It's more a case of the freedom of assembly and the freedom of expression, which are qualified rights under the ECHR. Now, a qualified right is something that the local authority and national authority can interfere with if it's a justified and legitimate means of interfering with your rights and freedoms under ECHR. So whilst it's not an enshrined right to protest, there is a freedom to express your views. But that freedom to express those views can be curtailed and interfered with if the authorities believe that it's a legitimate cause to do so. That's precisely what's happened in this document, because the Birmingham City Council has made clear that the council has regard to the rights and freedoms as set out in the European Convention on Human Rights, and the council's had particular regard to the rights and freedoms set out in Article 10, which is the right to the freedom of expression. So as I say, it's the right to a freedom, which is sort of a contradiction in terms, really, but it's the right to freely express what you wish and the right.
You see, this is the difference between Britain and America. In Britain, they give you the right to be free. It isn't that you're born free. You have the right to be free when they allow it. Whilst in America, they believe that you're born free and the government's job is to protect those freedoms, not to give you those freedoms. You don't get to be given freedoms in America or rights in America. Those rights are given to you, well, in their case, they consider it by God, but generally they are given to you by birthright. The government's job isn't to give you rights, it is to protect those rights, whilst clearly not the same in Britain. Hence why we need a constitution. We need a constitution. Don't vote for a party that does not promise you that Britain will move to a written constitutional system that will have a written constitution that will know that no party or no government can come and just overturn whenever they feel like. That's what we need. That's what we got to push towards.
Right of assembly in Article 11, but as I said, the authorities can interfere with that as such they choose. The council goes on that it has concluded that the restrictions on such rights and freedoms imposed by this order are lawful, necessary and proportionate. So the local authority, Birmingham City Council, has considered the ECHR implications and concluded that it's a lawful interference with your right to the freedom of expression and the right of assembly.
Oh, gee, authoritarians have determined that you're taking away your freedoms is perfectly legal. Isn't that the I don't know what the expression would that be, but it's not turkeys voting for Christmas, but it's it's basically you're giving the authoritarians the opportunity to decide whether taking away your freedom is lawful or not. This is literally letting the fox in the hen house. You're letting the fox decide whether killing a hen is legal or not.
Assembly. However, whilst the restrictions on graphic, verbal and written means of approval or disapproval around that area might be more understandable, the bits that many of you might have an issue with are the last two, which is prayer or counselling. Now, of course, prayer can happen in your mind. It doesn't have to be out loud, which would obviously be verbal. It could simply happen in your mind. And according to the report that I read this morning, that's precisely what this lady has been arrested and charged with. Silent prayer and thought in her own mind. Now, for me, this PSPO is also interfering with Article 9 of the Convention, which is the freedom of thought, conscience and religion. Article 9 provides that everyone has the right to freedom of thought, conscience and religion. This right includes freedom to change religion or belief or freedom either alone or in a community with others, and in public or in private, to manifest his religion or belief in worship, teaching, practice, and observance. And secondly, the freedom to manifest one's religion or beliefs shall be subject only to such limitations that are prescribed by law and are necessary in a democratic society in the interests of public safety for the protection of public order, health, or...
Again, listen to that bit. In the interest of public safety. That's how they always fucking get you. This is, my God, these people from the founding parents of America they were just on it. You know, there are certain truths in the world and the universe which are just timeless. And that's exactly what it is. They saw this shit coming. They say that those who give up a little bit of freedom for a little bit of security shall lose both and deserve none. This is it. Britain 2022.
Safety for the protection of public order, law, and are necessary in a democratic society in the interests of public safety for the protection of public order, health, or morals, or for the protection of the rights and freedoms of others. So clearly this is also a qualified right in that the local authorities and the national authorities can interfere with this right under Article 9 as well. In fact, the courts have held previously in Europe that in certain cases the freedom of thought can be interfered with if it does interfere with the rights of others. And this order goes on. Secondly, it provides...
It says freedom of thought can be interfered with if it interferes with the rights of others. The freedom for you to think things, if it interferes with the rights of others, can be curtailed. That's literally... Oh my God!
With this right under Article 9 as well. In fact, the courts have held previously in Europe that in certain cases the freedom of thought can be interfered with if it does interfere with the rights of others. And this order goes on. Secondly, it provides that interfering or attempting to interfere, whether verbally or physically, with a Robert Clinic service user, visitor, member, or staff. That's fair enough. Interfering, whether verbally or physically, ought to be restricted. Thirdly, intimidating or harassing or attempting to intimidate or harass a service user. Fourthly, recording or photographing a service user or visitor, member, or staff. And fifthly, displaying any text or images relating directly or indirectly to the termination of pregnancy. Now, all of those things are something physical, either doing something, saying something, interfering, harassing, using text or imagery or verbals or all this kind of thing. But the one that many of you might find quite shocking, and many of you might disagree with, is the silent prayer aspect to all this, because after all, there is the right to the freedom of thought and religion. But what this is ultimately saying is that if someone is standing outside conducting silent prayer in their own mind, they are liable, if it's confirmed that that's what they are doing, to arrest and charge for breach of this order.
That is why you never talk to the police. This was that woman's mistake. She told them exactly what she was doing, which gave them the legal right under these ridiculous laws to arrest her, because she told them what she was doing in her own head. They can't prove what you do in your own head under any circumstance. So if she just simply said no comment, I don't wish to make any comment about that, they would have no cause to arrest her. This is why the fundamental rule: do not talk to the police. Never talk to the police. Never cooperate. Always say no comment unless you have a lawyer present or you've been advised by a lawyer.
And reportedly, that's precisely what happened earlier this month to Isabel Vaughan Spruce, who was standing silently in a public street, and when asked by a police officer whether she was inwardly praying, when she said she might have been, she was immediately arrested, taken to the police station and searched. And she now faces prosecution for breach of this order. So the upshot of all this is that if she's convicted, she'll have a criminal record and have to pay a fine of up to £1,000, because this order prevents any act of approval or disapproval, even if it includes your own silent thoughts. As part of her bail conditions, reportedly, she's been banned from engaging in public prayer, even outside the bounds of this PSPO area. So she's effectively been banned as part of her bail conditions from having silent prayer and thought anywhere else. Now,
literally, she's been banned as part of a bail condition from having thoughts, prayer thoughts in her head. She can't pray. If she goes to bed and she has a dream about Jesus and she prays upon it in the dream, she could technically be breaching her bail condition. This is Britain in 2022/2023, people. This is the country that supposedly founded democracy and the parliament and all the home of democracy. This is the Britain that we are fucking faced with right now. This is what we're dealing with. This is insane. Even Saddam Hussein allowed you to pray in your... I'm sure even Kim Jong-un lets the Koreans pray in their own fucking heads without being liable to charges. I'm pretty sure there isn't a single despot or dictator on this planet that actually is interested in your thoughts and will prosecute you for it. But Britain does. Britain will prosecute you for thoughts in your head, whilst even the most vicious dictator in the fucking world leaves you the fuck alone in your own head. At least in your own head, you're free. This is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Barrister, of course,
And they want to talk to the Taliban about how terrible they are when it comes to women's rights. Holy shit. The phrase clean your own room has never been more prevalent in Britain than ever before. Literally, Jordan Peterson should come and bitch slap the British judicial system and tell them to clean your own room before any Brit has the goal to tell any other country what you should and shouldn't do in your country, how oppressive your regimes are or not. They were fucking protesting Qatar. After this bullshit, you can go kiss my ass when you fucking want to protest Qatar, when in Britain, you don't have the right to think. This woman is on bail conditions that if she's caught praying in her own head anywhere, she could go to jail. Fuck me.
support law that will help to support and keep the peace and protect everybody's safety and living together as a civilized community. But this is one area that I think is going to have quite significant ramifications and is a little bit of a slippery slope where local authorities start to legislate and put in orders which will criminalize certain thoughts when they simply form part of a person's personal religious beliefs. Now, of course, the obvious argument is that anyone that has these thoughts shouldn't be going to those areas and standing outside having these private thoughts. But the real question is, how far does that go? Because this PSPO is in that particular area, but now her bail conditions reportedly have said that she's not allowed to have silent prayer anywhere else out in public, outside the bounds of this PSPO. Personally, if that is the case, and those are her conditions, I don't think that's lawful. I don't think it will be lawful to restrict somebody from ordinary prayer out in public if they are outside the bounds of this area, irrespective of whether this particular order is valid and legally enforceable. Which, as I said, there are probably some grounds that this could be challenged at a judicial review or even by way of case stated to get at the very heart of whether this order is lawful at all. But in the meantime, anyone that is in or around this particular area, of course, I would suggest that you comply with this order, because otherwise, if you're found to be in breach of this order, you're likely to be arrested and charged as well. And it will be a very difficult and expensive process to try to challenge any such conviction on the basis that the order was not legitimate in the first place.
Holy shit. Holy shit. His recommendation as a barrister is that if you're in that area of that abortion clinic, or I guess any abortion clinics would have these PSPO type things surrounding them. If you happen, and what happens if you happen to be walking through whilst praying on something like, my mum's cancer, let's hope, God, please help my mother recover from her terminal cancer. If you have those thoughts as you're walking through past an abortion clinic, you could be arrested. You could literally be arrested and have a criminal record if you're praying for your mother's cancer to be cured whilst walking by an abortion clinic in Britain. This is a scenario. This is a legitimate scenario. It's not even hyperbolic. Fucking hell. This is Britain 2022. Well done. Well done for you liberals and all you fucking lefty blue pill pricks who voted in successive governments, never fucking questioned what kind of laws and bills they were passing. Well done. Well done. This is the Britain that you have now. And by the way, it ain't going to get better under the next government that's going to come in. Because the next government that's going to come in, which is most likely Labour, is even worse. The 13 years of that piece of shit, Tony Blair, gave us most of this crap. And the Conservatives never rolled back on any of it. In fact, they passed bills that would put people, turn people into criminals if they had protests that were too loud. And I'm sure PSPO was part of those fucking bills that they passed. That's the kind of shit that they've done. I mean, you wonder why Andrew Tate talks about not living in Britain when he comes on Piers Morgan and says that London is a cesspit. He's right. He's absolutely right. Why would anyone want to fucking... The irony, this is the fucking irony. There are people on boats risking life and limb from Calais to come over to Britain. On Christmas Eve, apparently, we had several thousand migrants come on boats, migrant boats, into Britain. There are people risking life and limb to get into this place, which most of us are probably trying to figure out how to get the fuck out. Because nobody under these laws, maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what they've done. They've done these laws in order to make sure that Britain is so unattractive and such a complete diabolical shithole that this is maybe this is an immigration policy from the Conservative government. This is their way of getting around immigration. Let's turn Britain into an authoritative police state shithole that the very people who ran away from dictators would go back to those dictators because at least the dictator left their thoughts alone. At least the dictator wasn't fucking giving them bail conditions that they're not allowed to pray in their own head. Hell, even fucking China lets you pray in your own head, I'm sure. I'm sure even China leaves you alone with that shit. But I'll be honest, I'm not sure because China seems to be the beta testing model for all of this bullshit that's coming in Britain. I was thinking the same. Well, anyway, guys, this was my hour, and in all honesty, as much as I would love to, I'd love to talk to you guys about this. I want to open a panel, but I can't tonight. I have work to do. I have other things that I have to take care of. So unfortunately, I can't open a panel because the panels usually run for fucking hours. And it's 8 o'clock and I've got other shit to do. But there is one thing I want you to...
Everybody's talking about this guy.
I want to take your guys' attention towards, and I hope others will simply take... I mean, this is what would be considered a very liberal individual. So not a lot of conservative-minded individuals would probably either follow him or even, look him up. But Jimmy Dore did this amazing piece, which is a combination piece between him commentating on Tulsi Gabbard's interview of a congressman who lied through his teeth to get in, during his election period, which Tulsi Gabbard just absolutely roasts and destroys this individual. But then he goes into this brilliant segment on Joe Biden's lies over the years. But I'm just going to play a little bit of this. I've got 5 minutes.
George Santos, and how he's been lying about his past and his record, and people are making a big deal out of it, right? So he's a Republican representative, right? From where's he from? Can you find out where?
He's a New York State. He's one of the New York State's representatives, George Santos, and I'm just going to go into the Tulsi Gabbard interview.
Go well for him. You want to watch this?
New York rep.
He's from New York.
New York rep.
Okay.
Congressman-elect, integrity means, yes, carrying yourself with honor, but it means telling the truth, being a person of integrity. And if I were one of those in New York's 3rd district right now that the election is over, and I'm finding out all of these lies that you've told, not just one little lie or one little embellishment, these are blatant lies. My question is, do you have no shame? Do you have no shame in the people who are now?
Damn, she just drops the hammer on this guy.
You're asking to trust you to go and be their voice for them.
It would have been better if he just said, I do not. Next.
About the Democrats.
Washington?
Tulsi, I can say the same thing about the Democrats and the party. Look at Joe Biden. Joe Biden's been lying.
So this guy gets called out on all these bullshit lies during his election campaign about how he graduated from this university or that university and he's a Jew and all that crap. But then he goes, yeah, the Democrats lie too. We all know you're all lying sacks of shit.
To the American people
That's your
for 40 years.
response?
He's the president of the United States.
That's for me to say, not you.
That's right. That's what we're going to say. People just as shitty as me. He's going to use it. Watch how he does keep calm and cool through this whole thing. Watch this. And Tulsi's beating the shit out of him.
Proudly support him. Do they have no shame? I've made this very clear.
This is not about the Democratic Party, though. This is about your relationship, frankly, with the people who've entrusted you to go and fight for them. And I think one of the questions that really probably hits home to a lot of people is are you Jewish? You've got a letter that your campaign sent out.
He's been claiming he's Jewish throughout his campaign to try to like win, because it's New York. New York is like full of Jews, to try to win favor with the Jewish community. But he's not even close.
He's Jewish,
which reads as follows. As a proud American Jew, I've been to Israel numerous times for educational, business, and leisurely trips.
Well, Whoopi Goldberg can do it. Just bring up
my heritage is.
Just bring up precedents for all of this.
Here we go.
That you are, quote, a proud American Jew. How do you explain that?
My heritage is Jewish. I've always identified as Jewish. I was raised a practicing Catholic.
Okay, he was raised a practicing Catholic. We're not talking about your religious practice. Are you Jewish? Because being Jewish is also an ethnicity and it derives from your mother. Was your mother a Jew?
I think I've gone through this.
Wait a minute. That doesn't answer the question.
Wait, what?
He said he looks like he's
practicing.
Practicing.
I don't care.
Okay.
Not being raised a practicing Jew, I've always joked with friends and circles, even in the campaign, I'd say, guys, I'm Jewish. Remember, I was raised Catholic. So, look, I understand everybody wants to nitpick at me. I'm going to reassure this once and for all. I'm not a facade. I'm not a persona. I have an extensive career that I worked really hard to achieve, and I'm going to deliver from my experience because I remain committed in delivering results for the American people. I campaign.
Anyway, this guy goes on for ages trying to bullshit his way out of this interview, and Tulsi Gabbard beats the shit out of him. If you guys want to check out Fox News, Tulsi Gabbard interviewing this congressman-elect George Santos. Oh yeah, that's a typical Jewish name there, George Santos. Yeah, go check it out on Fox News, on the Fox News channel, or just type Tulsi Gabbard, George Santos, and you'll get it. But that's not what I'm interested in. I am interested in this segment on Joe Biden.
He did a whole Twitter thing, thread about all the lies that Joe Biden lied about.
Oh yeah. This, by the way, just before this, because the Democrats actually want this guy to now resign his position because he lied so much. That's why Jimmy Dore goes into this segment about Joe Biden's lies and exposing Joe Biden. Because if anyone has to resign about lying, is Joe Biden.
Let me just go to the good part. So here it is.
Explaining to do. The new questions stem from taped remarks of Biden during an April campaign appearance in New Hampshire.
I went to law school on a full academic scholarship, the only one in my class to have a full academic scholarship. Went back to law school and, in fact, ended up in the top half of my class. I was the outstanding student in the political science department at the end of my year. I graduated with 3 degrees from undergraduate school and 165 credits, only needed 123 credits.
Biden now concedes he did not graduate in the top half of his law school class, that he does not have 3 degrees from college, and that he was not named outstanding political science student in college.
Newsweek says Biden actually went to school on a half scholarship, ended up near the bottom of his class, and won only 1 degree, not 3.
Joe Biden ranked 76th in a class of 85 at the University of Syracuse Law School. I mean, this guy comes off this whole thing as a flyweight.
Now Biden says Newsweek is right. His memory had failed him.
His memory failed him.
What do they call that when you lie and say you're Jew? Stolen chutzpah?
Stolen chutzpah.
It's like stolen valor.
Yeah. So, a Republican
this is a controversy.
lying is true.
Presidential candidate Joseph Biden today faces a controversy. 3 weeks ago at a debate at the Iowa State Fair, he used phrases identical to those delivered by British Labour Party leader Neil Kinnock.
Biden seemed to be claiming Kinnock's vision and life as his own.
Why is it that my wife, who's sitting out there in the audience, is the first in her family to ever go to college?
Why is Gladys the first woman in her family in 1,000 generations to be able to get the university?
My ancestors who worked in the coal mines in northeast Pennsylvania and would come up after 12 hours and play football.
8 hours underground and then come up and play football.
It's because they didn't have a platform upon...
He's lying, sacks of shit. He plagiarized another person's speech. I think they just do this shit all the time. It's like when Melania plagiarized, I think, Michelle Obama's speech, and she just read it out. I mean, it might not even been her. It might have been some staffer who was going to write her speech, and then it was like, how the fuck am I going to do this? Okay, let's see what the fuck Michelle Obama said. It sounds like she said she wrote some good speeches. These fuckers are just liars through and through. Shameless liars. I've come to the conclusion that this bullshit of always tell the truth that Peterson preaches to the masses, this is just bullshit. It's just to the fucking plebs. I think Peterson's just another controlled opposition. I think most of these people are. I don't know. I'm beginning to think if you're not being severely crushed by the Matrix and you're being uplifted and propelled to new heights, you're just controlled. You're either controlled opposition, or you just work for the system in a overt way. You're a liberal, or you're a controlled opposition conservative. These are not. I don't think any of these people, because when Peterson says always tell the truth, this is bullshit. It's clearly bullshit, because telling the truth will get you fucking nowhere. Apparently, plagiarizing and lying through your ass makes you the president of the United States. Consecutively, just I don't know. Was there ever an honest president? Maybe during Washington's era, but I don't think there has been a honest president for the best part of 100 years in anywhere. United Kingdom, United States, presidents, prime ministers. I think really the only people who are genuinely honest are the dictators. I'm beginning to think dictators are the only ones you can truly trust, because they don't give a shit. They got no fucks to give. They're not there to appease the masses. They've already got all the masses under their thumb. They don't need to lie about how much they want to fuck you over. They'll just tell you. Oh my God.
Upon which to stand.
There was no platform upon which they could stand.
The notion that every thought or notion or idea you'd have to go back and find and attribute to someone, I think is, quite frankly, ludicrous.
The problem here is that Senator Biden told his audience he'd just been thinking about these things, and he failed to give any credit at all to his famous British speechwriter.
I was thinking on the way over here. Now that's a little too much, because as you point out, what's behind the words? What's there? And a lot of people, the rap on Biden has always been that it's just a surface.
I should have said, to paraphrase Neil Kinnock, it's the only...
He says, I should have said, to paraphrase Neil Kinnock, you fucking stole his whole speech, you lying sack of shit.
I should have said, to paraphrase Neil Kinnock, it's the only time I didn't. And all the times I've ever used it.
But CBS News found a tape of a second instance.
It reappeared in the New York Times with a new charge, that Biden had appropriated a famous litany from the late Robert Kennedy about what the gross national product cannot measure.
It cannot measure the health of our children.
The health of our children.
The quality of our education.
The quality of their education.
The joy of their play.
For the joy of their play.
Lazy
Biden gave Kennedy no
speechwriting
credit.
shit.
He has also quoted or paraphrased John Kennedy, Hubert Humphrey, and British Labour Party leader Neil Kinnock, all without credit.
Joseph Biden admitted today that he committed plagiarism when he was in law school. He said it was a mistake, but that it was unintentional.
He quoted 5 pages of someone else's work without proper citation.
I've done some dumb things, and I'll do dumb things again.
Yeah, I bet.
He was...
Oh, no shit. You're the president now. Your dumb shit, dumb things are going to be real. They're going to have real consequences now. Anyway, guys, go watch Jimmy Dore's clip on this. He plays it for a bit longer, but I'm gonna end it here. I'm already 8 minutes over. But by the way, Wanksy, it's Gaddafi. Is GH, not Gaddafi. So yeah, it's Saddam Hussein and the Ayatollah Khomeini, which is actually the new one, Ayatollah Khamenei, which is the current one. So yeah, they're all sacks of shit. But I'll be honest, I'm starting to think at least they were honest. They weren't honest either, though. They're all fucking liars. Every one of these sacks of dog turds lie through their fucking teeth. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm beginning to feel very, very disillusioned. Have a good new year, mate. Yes, take care. Drastic measures. Let's do a stream together once, mate. If you're happy to do a live stream, I would love to get you on here. And yeah, we can have a little chat about the religion of peace, dude. I am well up for that. Message me at Twitter. You can DM me in Twitter, Banksy Style UK, or you can leave a message, comment underneath one of my videos. What else? I don't really have anything else. Discord, I suppose we can jump on. Message me through Discord. Off pieces actually. Oh, okay. I'll tweet. Yeah, okay. Twitter me is the best. DM me in Twitter. My DMs are open. Just tweet me, twat me. I like to be twatted in the face. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you everyone else that's here. Big up everyone. Banksy, MC, my man, my connection in Poland. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. And have a wonderful Happy New Year. If I don't get to talk to you prior, RCW, whoever else I haven't mentioned, Paul Wilson White. I'm trying to catch everyone here. Natural Samurai, everyone, guys. Anyone who I haven't mentioned, I'm sorry, but yeah, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. Enjoy the next few days, and I will catch you on the other side. And now I have to figure out a way to play us out. Let us play us out with some music. What shall I play? New Year's anthem.